All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, one of the first things I want to point out to you guys is this um, worksheet and the worksheets from here on out until the end of the school year are going to be different. There is no question at the very end. That is now an exit ticket. You cannot do an exit ticket if you're not in class. So while you're doing this, watching this video and doing the worksheet, you're gonna have to make up those 5 points doing something else. So you can do something like a word search, but you can only do one word search, and that's only one time worth 5 points, and that's it. So if you only miss one day, you could just do that word search. You only miss one exit ticket, you could do that one word search. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do some achieve 30,000s and things like that. Okay. Um, Otherwise, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot, and you're going to lose a lot of points if you continuously miss class, you're constantly watching these videos because you're missing class. You're going to have to make up those points elsewhere. Okay. So also, I told you guys last week and the previous weeks before that when we start the new grading period, we're going to be talking about life lesson things. So today it's about budgeting your money. Okay. And like I told the students in class, I hear it all the time from people. I already know this stuff. I know it. Sure, I'm sure. I have no doubts that you know this stuff. But it's one thing to know it, and it's another thing to actually apply it and do it. Okay, and that's what I'm really trying to push you guys to do is actually do this because this stuff you will experience this in your life. Okay. So here's your warm up question. In your opinion, should money be saved or spent? Now, I know your mind immediately is going to go, well, it's both. I get that. But which way is the needle going more towards? To spending or saving? It should not be in the middle. It should be leaning one way or the other. Even if it's a little bit. Which side is that? Okay. So tell me why you picked that side. Why do you believe that side is should you should be doing that with your money? Okay. So pause the video, write your response because we're moving on in three, two, one. All right. So in my lifetime, I've had many friends. I have met many more acquaintances and some of that, and I've come to realize people who try to be big ballers, they have that big baller mentality. Typically, they're broke people, you know. Thing is, you can't have designer taste if you have only Walmart money, you know. That means like you can't say, "Oh, I want to buy a $1,500 shirt, designer shirt," if one of your paychecks is only $1,200. It's like you're really going to spend more than a paycheck on a single shirt. Come on now. Come on. No, 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 no. If you don't got the money, you should not be spending a lot of money on, especially something that costs one thing that costs a lot. Okay. So here's the thing: track your spending. Okay. I know some students have said in the past, they told me, well, I know if you like check your credit score a lot, they knock off points. Okay, but what's that got to do with your bank account? Most banks have an app where you can log in and see how much money you got and stuff like that, and you can check as many times as you want. Okay, get a hold of your info and keep track of what your money being is going to. Because sometimes you might find an error. Somebody might have taken got a hold of your card or access to it and was able to like spend money on different things. You know, uh, especially if you buy things online. Some sites are not secure and people can easily take your information and then start spending your money. Okay. This next one is I know it may sound childish, but trust me, it helps. It's saved for emergencies. So that means like have a little piggy bank. Okay. Now you don't have to necessarily get a real piggy bank. It could be something as like putting your money away in like another wallet, you know, or a different place, a little stash, and this is for true emergencies. Like something happens, your something happens to your car, your grandma needs like $300 or else she's gonna get kicked out of her apartment, some of that. Hey, yeah, definitely use that money for that. That's what it's for. But if you go, well, you know what? My friends are going out to dinner. I just need $40 to, you know, go out with them. No, that's not what that's for. This is for true emergencies. Okay, because you never know what might pop off and you don't have access to money. They don't take credit cards, they don't take debit card, you know, uh, you need the money right away, or somebody else needs the money right away. So that's what it's there for. This next one is one of the hardest things that people cannot do, and that's improve your mindset. Okay. Um, some people have that mentality of, I mean, right when they get money in their hands, it's gone. They don't know how to save money. All they do is spend, 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 spend. And then you got people on the flip side who they just hold on to their money. They don't spend it on nothing. They'd rather go, you know what? I don't really need to change my oil in my car. I'm not gonna spend $60. I'll wait another month before I change my oil. If you keep doing that, you're gonna cause more damage, and you're going to get like a new engine. That's gonna cost you a heck of a lot more if you had just basically change your oil instead of saying, no, 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 I'm gonna save my money. Oh no, no, I'm gonna do this or that. I need to save my money. No, sometimes it's okay to spend. Okay. And again, the biggest thing is controlling yourself, whether it comes to spending and saving. You got to control yourself. You got to realize, like, hey, I do need to spend money or I need to start saving money. This next one really applies to you guys as teenagers. When you get to my age, you really don't care. But it's an old saying called keeping up with the Joneses. You should not compare yourself to any other people, and no matter what people say, and that's why I said in your guys' generation, people look at you like, oh, what are you wearing? Things like that, stuff like that. And if you're not wearing like the newest J's, you don't have the newest phone, you know, people mock you, ridicule you, some of that, people your age. And it's a trap, guys. You don't have to have the newest phone. You don't have to have the newest shoes and some of that. You don't. And talking about some my previous friends, um, you don't need a particular car to impress a certain person. You know, like I said in class, I had a buddy who basically a girl he liked said, your car sucks. You need I like a guy with a brand new sporty car and some of that, something I could really move, get going. And he was about to buy one just for this girl. It's like, no, because if you start with that, then she's gonna be then gonna look at you going, well, I don't like your clothes. You need better clothes. And then what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to try. You want to keep impressing her and this and that. So no, just stop. Okay? Be happy with what you have and stay humble. Okay? Now, in economics, we talked about before, there was three essential needs, right? Shelter, food and water, and clothing. Okay? But when it comes to money management, there are four needs that you need to take care of. The first thing is your rent. Okay, so if you're renting an apartment or a house, pay off the rent when you get your check. If you own a home, then your mortgage, you need to pay off that mortgage. The second thing is bills, electric, water, gas, uh, car loans, whatever. That needs to go second. Okay. The third thing is insurance, health insurance, child care, car insurance. Okay. And lastly, food. Okay. Those are when you get paid, those are the first four things your money should go to. Now, whatever isn't used should be saved. Okay. It should be saved. Now, I had a student some years ago saying, well, do I have to save all of it? No, not necessarily. But you should be saving something, you know. Because remember, the thing is, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you should not be spending it all. You should be saving. Now, if you make a good amount where you're not really living paycheck to paycheck, then sure, you can buy things that you want. You don't have to save as much. But if your money is tight and you don't have enough, barely have enough to pay your bills and stuff like that and rent, that little bit you should be saving. Okay. Now, some years ago, I had this discussion with a parent about this stuff, and they said, "Oh, I can't do that. Oh no, it's way too late for me. I'm too old to be doing that kind of budgeting and stuff like that." Guys, no, it's not. If things are going bad for you, you're in a tight financial situation, it may look like, oh my God, it's so hard. I can't make a budget, this and that. This is the perfect time to budget. Now, it's going to take time, but you will get out of it if you do certain things like this next part. There's a certain rule that people who are pretty financially successful follow. It's called the 50-30-20 rule. Okay. So basically, after you get paid, right? And the money's taken out from the taxes, so that, and whatever money you have left over, half of that money should go to your essential needs. So the rent, bills, insurance, food. 30% that's left over should go to your wants. So the things that you want to get, so the time you're like, oh, I want to go with my friends, go eat. Well, if you have that money, if it's within that 30%, sure, do it. You want to buy a new pair of shoes? Sure, if it's within that 30%. And the last 20% should be saved. Okay. Now, again, some years ago, I had a student ask me, well, what if your rent and bills are lower than 50%, half your paycheck? What do you do? Well, basically, what you do is that extra money, you put it into the savings or pay off debt. Okay. It should not go to your wants. Your want, that 30%, that's the maximum it should be. Could it be lower? Sure, absolutely. 25%, 20%, 10%, sure. But it should never be above 30%. Okay. Now, let's say, because again, a student asked me too, what if, let's say, your rent is increased, your bills are increased, and it's more than 50%? What do you do? Okay, no problem. You adjust your budget. So instead of being 50, 30, 20, let's say it increases to 60%, from 50 to 60. Okay. Then it should be 60, 20, 20, you know, or 60, 30, 10. You know, you change the numbers. Okay. You can do that. It's okay. But the thing is, like I said, the wants part should never be above 30%. Lower, sure. Okay. So always remember your needs, those needs come first. And again, make sure you should adjust it to either saving your money or paying off debt. And again, that wants section should never be above 30. Now, for those of you guys who are visual learners, this is a great tip. Create a budget calendar. So basically, it's a calendar, and you can visually see, like, hey, this is how much money you spend, this So how much money you have left over, stuff like that. And if you want some more ideas on that, go to Google, type in budget calendar examples, and you'll see it, quite a bit. This next one is what I do. I've been doing this since I was like 16 years old. And basically is the money that I can burn, money I know that I can afford to lose. I put in my wallet. I don't leave it in the bank account. I have that money in my wallet. So that way, let's say I have 500 bucks and there's a video game I want that costs 60, $70. And I'm like, okay, it costs $70. I have 500. Um, I could buy that game and still be good for the next week or two, you know. But let's say I only have $100 and that video game costs 70. Yeah, no, I only have 30 bucks for the next 2 weeks. No. So it's a good visual for you to see and for you to do like think in your head, like do the math and be like, yeah, that's probably not be a good idea to buy that. Okay. The problem with your guys' generation is this. You guys see money as like what old people carry. That's what old people do. We carry our us younger people, we have our debit cards, our credit cards. And thing is, you guys tend to forget how much money you have in your account. And you think, oh well, I have like $100, so I'll buy this. Oh, I have $100. I'll buy this. I got enough for to buy this. And with all that added up, guess what? You went over 100. Now you got to take money from your needs, and now you're going to fall short on paying your bills and stuff like that. You know, so that's the thing. That's the bad thing about the debit cards and stuff like that. Because off the top of your head, if you tend to forget how much money you have. Okay. The next big tip is buy substitute items when it comes instead of brand names, especially when it comes to like food. Okay. Cereal, peanut butter, noodles, things like that. You don't have to get the brand name stuff, especially like cereal. You don't have to get like um, the Flintstones cereal. You can get those Dino Bites in that big bag. There's nothing wrong with that. That stuff's good. You know, uh, simple medicines. Instead of getting Tylenol, Advil, Band Aids, you can get the Walmart, Target brand, Costco brand. Because the thing is, you have to remember, not only are those off brands from like Target and Walmart, not only are they cheaper, you get more, and they basically do the same thing. Okay. Now, if you notice, I said simple medicines. So things like an EpiPen, and if you don't know what an EpiPen is, it's basically like somebody who's like allergic to like peanuts. If they accidentally eat some or eat something that has peanuts on it, um, they could die, you know, from having an allergic reaction. And the EpiPen saves them from that. So that's the type of thing you should not skip on. Pay the price for the EpiPen because, again, there's a big difference between uh, a medicine that will save your life and something that will make a headache go away. Big difference. Okay. The next tip, take time to look for deals. Wait for sales. Problem is with your generation, you guys have no patience. You have no chill. You just, oh, I need this. I'm going to buy it right now. And you should know, I'm sure you guys do know, that when something is at its most expensive is when it first comes out. Okay. Now, let's say again, like if you're like me, you're a gamer, uh, and let's say it's October, and you're like, well, I want to get this game. Well, if you just wait a month, the game might go on sale during Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and all you have to do is wait a month, you know, or wait for the end of the year sales, at places. Um, so yeah, take your time. and look at different places. Don't just look at like straight up Amazon and that's it, no other place. Look at the different websites to find if there's something cheaper, you know. And sometimes, believe it or not, things are cheaper at a store in town. Okay. The next one is about fast food. Now, I don't know if you guys have been to fast food lately, but I mean, one meal costs like 12, 13 bucks. And they usually last for about a day, for one meal, and that's it. And if you ever try to eat a McDonald's hamburger like a day later, and they're not good. And if you try to reheat them, it's like eating a rubber biscuit. So instead of spending that $13, $14 on a one meal that you finish like that, you should think about spending that money at a grocery store, buying some meat, buying some vegetables, some fruit, some snacks, or whatever, because it's going to last a lot longer. Um, Now, some students in class basically told me, like, well, why am I going to buy grocery stuff if I don't know how to cook? And see, this is the time where you should learn. Because a lot of times when you save money when you do things yourself, change your own oil, um, do do things for your car, um, cook, you save a lot of money, you know. And like I told the class, start off small, make little things for breakfast, scrambled eggs, pancakes, French toast. Then go to like make sandwiches, and then do like barbecue stuff and chicken and steaks, and then go back inside, and try to make some, three-course meal. Okay, start young as you guys are, so by the time you get to my age, you have no problem being able to cook whatever is presented to you. You know, the next tip: use coupons, online codes, any which way you can get a discount. Okay, there ain't no shame in the game of trying to save money, guys. The last one is probably one of the biggest things, especially for you guys for being so young. When buying a car, you need to do your research. Um, Thing is, a lot of you guys tend to forget about things such as your insurance. Okay, some people get a car because, oh, I want to look good in it. But the thing is, especially if you're under 25, your insurance is going to be high because you don't have the experience as a driver, you know. And if you've already gotten in a wreck being young, your insurance is going to go even higher. And if you have a sporty car, like a car that goes fast, your insurance is going to go even higher, you know, because again, they see you guys as young kids. You want to move fast, drive fast, things like that. Whereas someone like me, I'm old. I'm not going to drive as fast. I'm probably going to drive like I'm going to church, So that's why my insurance would be a lot lower than your guys's. Another thing that students tend to forget when they're buying a car, young people, how much is the registration going to cost? Some of this registration for especially the newer cars, it's like up to $300, $400. People forget about that thing when they're buying a new car. Also, smogging. Does your car need to be smogged? You know, is it a hybrid? Things like that. Is it gas efficient? Is it a V6, V8? Is it again a hybrid? You know, um, Things like that. You need to look into, and how much is it going to cost you? The initial cost, like right there and then later on. Okay. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, there is no question at the end because that's only for exit tickets and that's only for when you're in class. So, you guys are going to have to make up those points doing something else. Again, like I said, a crossword, word search, achieve 3,000. Now, again, the crosswords, word searches, stuff like that, that's only going to be one thing, one paper, one time. That's it. You can't be turning in like 8 of them, okay? Because you're only going to get credit for one, and that's it. Just letting you guys know now. Okay. And if you're not watching this video, not listening, you're just skipping, you skip through all this. Um, hey, I said on the video, and it's not my fault you didn't listen to the video, you know. So, with that being said, you guys, hopefully you'll learn something new. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. So, you guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later, okay?